What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I have something so exciting to share with you today. I have been on a bit of a treasure hunt lately and came across some amazing Tiffany Co stemware from TJMaxx and Marshalls. Yes, you heard that right. Tiffany Co, known for its high-end luxury being sold at discount stores, it begs the question, how does this even happen? Well, stick around because I want to share with you guys my recent finds and also dive into how these luxury items show up in these unexpected places. And I want to hear your thoughts too. But first, if you're new here, I am Wil Mikahson. I do videos on fashion, lifestyle, and travel. And if any of that interests you, I would love for you to join our family here. You can do so by clicking that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified every single time I load a new video. And before we get started with the video, I want to address the elephant in the room. There are a lot of glasses. I posted this on my personal Instagram and I had so many people messaging me like, hey friend, why so many? And I want to say this to everyone. When I Googled, not that I'm getting married right now, but when I Googled if you were in the market and you're preparing a registry, if you're in the market for stemware, glassware, how many should you be getting of each? And they say that for a full set, you should be looking at 8, 10, or 12. I didn't look for 10 or 12. I figured 8 was a nice round number. So yeah, if you're looking at champagne flutes, red wine glasses, white wine glasses, Riesling glasses, Pinot Noir, Burgundies, like the list goes on. And that's just your fancy stemware. You still have highballs, lowballs, like there's the world of dining and stemware and cutlery and plates like, you know, tableware, tablescapes. It's so vast and you can have a bunch of everything. And I just figured these prices were discounted. When am I ever gonna find Tiffany Co at TJMaxx and Marshalls? So I went a bit crazy. And this is the sum of me going to a bunch of different stores after work during the week. And then one Saturday, Joey and I did go to about 7 or 8 stores in a span of 4 hours. And we totally maximized. I'm just missing 4 pieces, but when you have all of this, I am blessed nonetheless. So let's dive right in. I'm going to start with this glass, and I love that they all came in the boxes. So this one at this particular TJ Maxx was $69.99 on clearance for $56. And unfortunately, it is only one glass. And I believe this to be a water glass because the white wine glasses have much thinner stems. And this one is a little bit thicker. As we go throughout the video and I open up the white wine glasses, I will show you that there is a major difference in the stem. These could be older white wine glasses and maybe the thinner ones are the newer ones, I'm not sure. But I got this nonetheless. And I am gonna take that sticker off. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a sticker that says Tiffany Co, made in Italy, crystal glass, and I'm gonna take that off. I see a lot of people sometimes share their wine glasses online and they keep those on because they feel like it lets people know that it's Tiffany Co. But I do wanna let you know, I will insert some B-roll that etched at the bottom of each glass is Tiffany Co. So you don't, if you're still trying to flex on your guests, you can just let them know that Tiffany Co is on the bottom. You don't have to keep the sticker up there. So I will be taking all of my stickers off, but this is the first glass that I picked up. Moving along, I have 8 stemless champagne flutes. And can I just say that I love that they all came with the ribbon and the top for the box. Okay, I had to put those down. But I have 8 of them. There's 2 here, and then there's 4 more down below. But I just really love that they came with the white ribbon as you would get it in the store. But these are the stemless champagne flutes. I love these for those casual days, those casual evenings that you're having guests over. Maybe they have children and you guys are gonna have a little light beverage. I think that these are a great alternative to the traditional glasses with stems. So these were $69.99. So these retail on the Tiffany Co website for $110 US. And to have them on sale for $69.99, that's about a 36. It's a 30 some odd % discount, which you can't beat that, right? A discount on luxury is a discount. So I found these to be really, really cute. And like I said, a great alternative for having the ones with stems, which there's a place for those as well. But I got these also. And we cannot talk about champagne flutes on stem without sharing with you guys the ones that I picked up. I was only able to source 4 of these. They were really, really difficult. Everything else that I'm gonna share with you guys in this video, they were plenty at every store, but the champagne flutes on stem were very, very difficult to find. They were, again, $69.99, originally $110 on the Tiffany website. Just really, really good crystal. And again, I feel like if I were to have a party with a bunch of people and I needed more than 4 of these, I can always dip into the stemless champagne flutes to supplement the lack of having 8 of these. But I don't think that I'm gonna have 8 people over at one time that we need champagne flutes on stem, but you never know. Next up are the red wine, at least I believe they're the red wine champagne flutes. These were $69.99. And I can tell that they're the red wine because the stem is thicker and these are heavy. Like some of the other ones I'm going to share with you, they're very light and feel very delicate, but this glass right here is heavy. Like when you pick up the box or when you touch them, you can feel the heft to them. I'm pretty sure that they're the red wine ones. But again, I'm not really a wine champagne connoisseur like that to be able to just distinguish between the different types outside of a champagne flute versus a red wine glass that has a bigger bowl, or a Riesling one that's bigger and wider but that has a thinner stem. Like, I'm learning as I go. However, I'm pretty sure these are the red wine glasses, and I got 8 of these, and I feel like this red wine size is going to be used the most between these and the Riesling ones, because I tend to drink, I don't really drink champagne like that, but I think that these are going to get a lot more use. And like I said, I just picked up this box. It is so lightweight. I feel like I can throw it around, but this is the set of, I believe, Riesling glasses. $69.99 also. The stem is like pencil thin, and the bowl here kind of bows out a little bit on the side, whereas the red wine, which I believe is the red wine, is a bit more rounded and cupped at the base. And I believe that the stem needs to be smaller. I could be wrong. I believe that the stem needs to be smaller on a Riesling because it doesn't need to be warmed up. It should be chilled more. What do I know? But again, summer's coming. Riesling is going to be poured heavily. Some rosé. I believe you can put rosé in a Riesling glass, but we did get 8 of these as well. Moving right along to this big box. And I'm so mad because I ripped it in the corner when I was trying to open these to just see the difference between some of the glasses. You really can't see it, but I taped the corner. These are what I believe to be the white wine glasses. And at the end, I'm gonna line them all up and show you what they look like next to each other. These came in a set of 4 and they were $129.99. I believe that a set of 4 on Tiffany's website is $200. So again, a really awesome discount. And I love that these came in a set of 4. I obviously got 2 of them, so I have 8 of these, but these scare me the most. They're very delicate. These are the Riesling ones, which proves my theory that white wine doesn't need thick stems to stay warmer when you're holding it. But very delicate, very beautiful. And just the etching on the glass is so beautiful. I will say though, that the etching on these glasses that say Tiffany Co with the TC on it are different from that one glass that I showed you that I believe is either the old water glass or the old white wine glass. And I will do a side-by-side and show you guys what they look like. And also that Tiffany Co made in Germany sticker that's normally up here is on the base right by the etching. So this could be, which I'll dive into in a few minutes, could be newer collection, that one-off could be an older collection, who knows. And last but not least, we have the stemless white wine glasses. And again, these are for those days that you have friends over and it's a casual setting, or maybe not, right? It's nice to have an alternative to something on stem that you're worried about it tipping over and breaking. Not that these can't break either or tip over, but I just think that it's nice to have the casual feel of something that's not on stem. And again, we have 8 of these also. So I just briefly wanted to share with you guys my experience of hunting down these pieces. I happened to walk into a random Marshall's one day after work, and I saw this, the glass cabinets that they keep locked up with the high-end things in it. And it wasn't even like a TJMaxx runway store. It was just a regular Marshall's. And in that case, I saw Gucci glasses, Cartier, the crazy Tiffany bag, like that large one, the leather bag with the chain, the tiny one that's all over TikTok. I paused, I was on the phone with a friend. I was like, I need to call you back because I'm looking at all this high-end stuff, higher end things that I've ever seen before in my life in a Marshall store. And I needed to inquire. So I had the lady come over and open it. And I was like, I will take everything. Because you know what I always say, in these Marshalls and TJMaxx stores and HomeSense and HomeGoods, get it, and if you don't not like it or you don't need it, you can always return it. But the feeling of regret and shoulda, coulda, woulda is the worst feeling in the world. Not the worst feeling, but it's just not a good feeling. So I then said to myself, I almost felt like crazy OCD Wil like thawing out, right? I was like, we're about to go crazy and embark on this world tour trying to find these pieces. And it's something, it feels good for me, people like us, if you're watching and you're a like-minded individuals, there's something about sourcing these things, these high-end luxury pieces that are, not that these glasses are sought after, but the Tiffany name is something that's synonymous with luxury. And in some aspects of their brand, it's highly sought after. So to find these things at such a discounted price, which is unheard of, right? I think that it felt good. So I embarked on this, every day. I always typically pop into a TJMaxx or Marshalls after work. So this was no different, but I was more intentional this time and, really looking. And a lot of times they were just laid out there. And going back to my comment about TikTok, when I got all this and came home and I was like, no one's talking about this on TikTok or any socials, turns out that there was a previous drop of Tiffany Co glassware, some of the more heavier and like barware, and as well as some of these wine glasses and champagne flutes, they were on sale around Christmas. And I had been in those stores, but I guess my focus was elsewhere. But I do remember one time I was like, I saw a Tiffany blue box and I was like, that looks like Tiffany, but probably not. And in my mind, hindsight's always 20/20. I'm like, that was probably one of these items or one of the thicker, high or low ball glass sets. But I just wanted to say that it was really, really fun. And then having Joey wake up one Saturday, I was like, he rolled over and opened his eyes and I was like, today we have a mission. And he's just always supportive. He's like, whatever you want to do as long as we're together. And, we had breakfast. We went to like I said, we just kept hitting the stores. He did some shopping for himself. It was a really, really fun day. And I just had the 4 pieces. Well, after we spent that Saturday shopping, all I was missing was 4 more stemless champagne flutes and 4 more champagne flutes on stem. I was able to go into a store randomly on a rainy Saturday and find the stemless champagne flutes. And I'm not even going to worry about getting the last 4, the ones on stem, because I am blessed to have acquired the ones that I did. Now, I do want to say, if you go out there and you go to look for these pieces, I want to tell you that the Riesling set of glasses, in our travels, we saw a few stores had them marked at $129.99 for the 2. And just like I showed you the stemless white wine glasses and it was $129.99 for 4, that is supposed to be the same thing for the Riesling glasses, but some stores have a missed ticket. And when I realized that, I went to one store, I tried to return them, and luckily we had just spent the whole day shopping, so I was not in the mood. But the manager literally said to me, I can't have you return those here at my store and ruin my numbers or my inventory. You're gonna have to drive an hour back up north to the store that you got them from. And I said, you know what? It's fine. I thought that by coming in here saying, hey, I paid, $69.99 for these somewhere else, and this place had them for this, I want to just swap them, rather than, I thought I was being honest and whatever, but honesty got me nowhere that day. So I walked out of there, went to another TJMaxx and returned them there. But yeah, so just be on the lookout. The prices are, and ironically at that store, the glasses that I had been paying $69.99 for elsewhere were $49.99 there. You see that? Same glasses. However, that particular TJ Maxx had them for $49.99. And like every other store, TJ Maxx or Marshall's, they were $69.99. So to get that markup, that misprint of $129.99, that's a big difference. And actually you can see on the one that's marked $49.99, even though she wouldn't accept my return, clearly you could see that it was misticketed. Someone ripped that off and put the $49.99 on there, which again, technically is a misprint. They should be $69.99, but I was like, you know what? Her loss, I went somewhere else. So let's chat. What are some of the reasons why you think that something like Tiffany Co, which is synonymous with super high-end luxury, why would something like that make its way to discount stores like TJ Maxx and Marshall's? Well, like I mentioned before, it could be that these are previous collections and they had no movement on them. A buyer came in and brought them and sold them to those locations, right? It could also be that these were special collaborations, because I did see on TikTok when I looked it up, someone in the comments said these were free things that they gave away at some event, or these were gifts that they were giving to people, collaborations. Like there's so many different avenues that this can go, right? But the fact still stands that these are really great grade crystal from Tiffany Co that is discounted at 30-something% off. You can't beat that, right? It's not that it's fake. It's not that it's, you know, subpar quality. And I know that I have in the past mentioned that sometimes I heard that certain brands or designers can make lower grade quality things specifically for those stores. I don't think that's the case with these items, nor do I think it's the case with some of the high-end sunglasses and jewelry that I've seen in TJ Maxx and Marshall's. I think it's all a part of this entire bubble of luxury that I don't think is imploding, or I don't think the bubble's been popped. I just think that there's a lot and people are trying to liquidate. Rather than trash it or let it sit, why not sell it at a discount rate? Do I think that this is going to hurt the brand, these high-end brands? Absolutely not, because the top 5 to 1% is going to keep them going no matter what. But I want to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below if you have seen any of these super high-end luxury things in discount stores. Let me know what your reasoning is why you think that they're landing in these stores, and if you've partaken and purchased some of them. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you guys in my next one. Peace.